The Inuit blanket toss, also known as Nalukatak, is a traditional celebration of the Inupiat people of northern Alaska, dating back to 1965. Sylvester Stallone from the United States in California in Malibu, 1979. Battling Nelson, the Danish lightweight champion from around the 1920s. The 1990s saw a sudden rise of goth characters and aesthetics in the media. Raquel Welch, 1967. Mara, Vishniak's daughter, stands in front of a shop in Berlin, 1933. This shop sells instruments used to measure the differences between the sizes of Aryan and non-Aryan skulls. Roman Vishniak took the photo. An airman is being captured by Vietnamese civilians in Truc Bac Lake, Hanoi in 1967. The airman is John McCain. The nose of a new Cadillac sticks out through a brick wall. It's in the USA in 1948. German SS personnel at Majdanek extermination camp are holding containers of Zyklon B. This was used in the camp's gas chambers. The date was July 1944. Abraham Lincoln, 16th President of the United States, 1863. American soldiers are doing laundry with French washerwomen. This happened in the 305th Sanitation in Frontville, Meuse, France, in 1918. Tom Cruise in his high school yearbook, 1977. France, 1994. Human Zoo, Bamboula Village. Margaret Gibb, a conjoined twin, is kissing her boyfriend while her sister Mary watches. This happened in the 1940s. Alright, so this is about a German invention. It's for filling a balloon, and it works by making power from a converted tandem bicycle. This was during World War I in 1914. Sophia Loren, 1960. J. Celestine Edwards, posing for his portrait in London. He's the son of West African slaves. He studied theology and medicine and published anti-racism books. It was 1894, and it was a glass negative. The 42nd President of the United States, Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, play with their cat, Socks, on the lawn in front of the White House in 1997. Walter McFarlane of Saracen Foundry is standing by a lighting standard. The standard was manufactured by his company in Glasgow, Scotland. Kim Delaney, who played Detective Diane Russell on NYPD Blue from 1995 to 2003. She received the 1996 Primetime Emmy Award for Best Supporting Actress in a Drama Series. Venezuelan troops were in the streets on January 23, 1958, during the coup that overthrew dictator Marcos Pérez Jiménez. A biker group is drinking beer and riding their motorcycles through underground tunnels late at night. This took place in Moscow, 1990. Pinckney Benton. Stuart Pinchback served as governor of Louisiana for 35 days. He was Louisiana's first black governor and the only black governor the state has ever had. Dueling with Wax Bullets, New York, 1909. Vladimir Putin's Stasi identification card. He was assigned as a KGB agent in Dresden as a mid-level liaison to the Stasi, the East German intelligence agency, in 1985. He held a job as a translator as a cover for his KGB work on December 31, 1985. Nicole Kidman hosted Saturday Night Live in 1993. It was the last picture of Jim Morrison and Pamela Courson in France. This was taken on June 28, 1971. Mark Hamill with a beard in 1989. Czechoslovak President Tomas Masaryk is giving a speech for the 10th anniversary celebration of Czechoslovakia in October of 1928. A woman in Stockholm buys a new pair of stockings from a Strumpotomat machine and slips them on in a doorway in 1956. Nelson Mandela at a South African Communist Party rally, Soweto, 1990. The Byrne family and their moving house, 1929. Muammar Gaddafi is with a bodyguard. This was in Cairo, 1994. It's Demi Moore, and she's wearing a striped bathing suit from the mid-'80s. Dr. Pepper Original Soft Drinks, bottles, cans, and cups, 1971. A young chimpanzee, Kokomo Jr., is drinking orange juice from a glass. He got it right from the refrigerator in his owner's apartment in New York City in 1955. Michael Jackson as a Roman legionary, 1988. Cameron Diaz in 1994. Baghdad, November 27, 1990. Muhammad Ali meets with Saddam Hussein to free 15 American hostages. President George H.W. Bush watches Clarence Thomas getting sworn into the Supreme Court. October 23, 1991. Condoms were inflated with air or filled with water to check for leaks. This was a standard testing method before electronic testing came along, which happened in 1935. Minusинsk, Siberia. A Tatar medicine man, also known as a shaman, is wearing full ceremonial dress. Their face is veiled. They have a frame drum and a beater. This was around 1920. A woman with a child. This was in Cusco, Peru in 1934. It's a kiss in Tokyo, 1978. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Hugh Hefner, and Wilt Chamberlain are at the Playboy Mansion in 1977. It's about an almost forgotten giant, the radio telescope TNA 1500, which was built in 1984 in the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic. Thousands of Albanians escaped to Italy during the collapse of communism in 1991. Members of the French resistance are showing their contempt by posing in front of a defaced portrait of Adolf Hitler in Paris, the day after the German garrison surrendered in the city. A worker is hanging pasta to dry. This is Italy in 1932. Pilots Steponas Darius and Stasis Garanis with their Balanka CH-300 Lituanica before their transatlantic flight in 1933. It's a portrait of a young Tamil girl, Eliza Ruhama Sidmore, from around 1907. Marlon Brando, before and after makeup, during filming for The Godfather in 1971. Barack Obama, when he was a law professor at the University of Chicago in 1995. Construction of NASA's Vehicle Assembly Building at Cape Canaveral, 1966. It's the largest single-story building in the world. There's a description of Victorian ladies on roller skates from the 1890s. A taxi was crushed by a tank during the popular unrest in Baku on the night of January 20th, 1990. Timekeepers at the 1912 Summer Olympics in Stockholm, Sweden. Young German Wehrmacht soldiers were photographed after being captured by the British Army's 11th Armored Division during World War II. Santa Claus School, New York, 1961. A Native American tribesman scalps an effigy of Adolf Hitler, 1940s. Jessica Lange, 1976. There are two Inuit girls with their puppies. This happened in northern Canada in 1951. Franklin Delano Roosevelt is being introduced to a 28-year-old LBJ by Governor James Allred in Texas in May of 1937. Dorothy Dandridge is at the London airport. The date is June 25, 1964. She was the first African American to be nominated for an Oscar for Best Actress. Robert De Niro and Martin Scorsese on the set of Cape Fear, 1991. The International Council of Women was the first organization of women to promote the advancement of women's rights and equality. 1888. Anti-war demonstrators protest outside the 1968 Democratic National Convention in Chicago. A sturgeon weighing almost 135 kilograms was caught in Sestroretsk, in the Leningrad region. Workers at the Leningrad fish processing plant are examining it, sometime during the 1930s. The shepherd's wearing traditional attire. He has a papaka hat, which is a traditional Caucasian fur hat. This was around 1960. Brendan Fraser in a Gap ad, 1993. Cher on tour during the Love Hurts tour in 1992. Norway, 1963. A girl is looking at frozen laundry on a clothesline. A group of Los Angeles boys are showing off diving helmets. They made them from sections of hot water heaters, boilers, and other easily secured junk. This was in 1933. Skiers with backpack aero propulsors were developed in the design bureau of the M. Gorky Mari Polytechnic Institute in 1978. Sandra Bullock in 1995. Pam Grier posing in 1973. Vladimir Lenin, the Russian revolutionary, is in disguise. He's clean-shaven and wearing a wig. He snuck out of Russia to avoid getting caught by the provisional government. They thought he was a German agent. This all happened in August of 1917. Actress Sandra Bullock at her home in 1978. The Mochida family is waiting for the evacuation bus. The father is smiling and the children are wearing name tags so they won't get separated. This was on the 8th of May, 1942. Sofia Vergara in the Swimsuit Calendar, 1994. Tia Carrere in 1988. Ice skating. This is from the United States, 1925. Museum staff are cleaning the skin of an elephant for display at the American Museum of Natural History in New York in June 1933. An Egyptian lady is dressed in all her jewels from the 1900s. Google was founded in January 1996 as a research project by Larry Page, that's the guy on the right, and Sergey Brin, who's on the left. They were both students at Stanford University in California at the time. Rabbi Jacob M. Rothschild is presenting a commemorative bowl to Martin Luther King Jr. at a banquet at the Ansley Hotel in Atlanta, Georgia. This was to honor King as the recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize on January 27, 1965. A female bootlegger got caught selling illegal alcohol during Prohibition in the United States. This was in Minneapolis in 1924. In 1984, there's a photo of Rwandan Hutu dictator Juvenal Habyarimana. He ruled the country for over 20 years after taking power in 1973. Habyarimana enforced harsh racial policies that benefited a Hutu elite. Inside the control room of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in 1986. Georgian Kevsur warriors, dressed in their traditional combat gear from the early 1900s, when they were still active. There's a hospital for soldiers affected by the war in Berlin from the year 1915. James Cameron, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Kate Winslet were filming the door scene from Titanic, which was released in 1997. Cindy Crawford for Maxim magazine, 1989. There was a feminist suffrage parade in New York City in 1912. Demi Moore was at the Hard Times special stage performance to benefit the Midnight Mission of Skid Row on March 23, 1987, at the Los Angeles Theater Center in Los Angeles, California. The monster sunfish was caught by W.N. McMillan of East Africa at Santa Catalina Island, California, on April 1, 1910. The weight was estimated at 3,500 pounds. Women are training for the annual pancake race in the 1950s in England. This is a portrait of Mexican dictator Porfirio Diaz, who ruled Mexico for more than 3 decades, over 3 presidencies. Despite rising to power on promises of no re-election, Diaz served 7 terms. He was overthrown the next year during the Mexican Revolution. Brooke Shields is celebrating her 21st birthday in 1986. Tokyo during the 1920s. An in-car telephone circa 1950. Former United States President Ulysses S. Grant is writing his memoir on the porch of his upstate New York cottage around 1885. Thursday, April 10, 1947. The assembly line of a Ford plant is halted for the day of Henry Ford's funeral. Jack Nicholson, 1986. French children played near invasion landing craft. Joe Martin. He was the policeman who took Allie to his first gym after his bike was stolen. A police officer fights to rip off the flag from an anti-fascist protester at the German Bund rally in Madison Square Garden, New York, on the 20th of February of 1939. 15-year-old Sophia Loren was at the Miss Italy contest in 1950. Pamela Anderson is posing with a friend at her home in British Columbia, 1985. American soldiers are camping in the courtyard of China's Forbidden City. This happened after United States and Allied forces occupied Peking, also known as Beijing, during the Boxer Rebellion. The time period was 1900 to 1901. Madonna, 1995. An RV camper is on display in London, 1927. Girls with Radio Bags, London, 1936. Woodstock, the opening ceremony, Bethel, New York, August 14, 1969. An Aborigine with a Boomerang, Australia, 1923. It was the 1909 Paris Air Show at the Grand Palais. Nora Hildebrandt. She was photographed by Charles Eisenman in 1880. She was one of the first tattooed ladies to perform in the United States. A milkman left bottles of milk on a doorstep in the 1950s. Mbaye Diagne, a UN peacekeeper, disobeyed his orders during the Rwandan genocide. He's credited with single-handedly saving the lives of as many as 1,000 Tutsis and moderate Hutus. Eugen Sandow, the father of bodybuilding, is posing, and this was during the 1880s. At the time, people considered him the most perfect man in the world. Cindy Crawford, 1990, shot by Patrick de Marchelier for British Vogue.